Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Well, I've been thinking about this for a little bit now, and it's something that it's a challenge for when you actually are collecting old things, well, mainly electronic things, and after a while you build up your collection, and then you start to notice that there's problems with some of these things. Um, you know, Things can just break. It's not like I drop things on the floor and it's like, oops, it's broken now. It's things over time, like electronics, the contacts in them, the whatevers, the microchips, they just die. Or you do something and you do unintentionally break something. Like for instance, I do have this ColecoVision here that I've had this for quite a long time. I remember buying this back in the day, not back in the ColecoVision days, but back when like Nintendo was out. And I really wanted a ColecoVision. I never had one. I had an Intellivision growing up, but I knew people that had ColecoVisions, and I always wanted to have one. And I ended up finding one. Someone in a video game store, actually, one of the salesmen there, had his own from when he was a kid, and he sold it to me. But anyways, so I had this one for quite a while, and I don't know. I was testing out these controllers, and I think I must have damaged the port. And I thought, okay, because the jump button wasn't working anymore. I switched joysticks, wasn't working. I couldn't jump. I couldn't, the buttons were not doing anything. And I think one of the directional things might have been off too. But anyways, so I couldn't play. I couldn't play any games. I couldn't play my Donkey Kong or nothing. And so I thought about it, and then I'm like, do I want to tear it apart? Do I want to open this up, see if I can figure it out? Do I want to just source out another ColecoVision? What do I do? Do I find a repairman? Because, it's not easy to find people that are going to be able to fix these type of things. You could go to flea markets and stuff, or if you know of like electronic stores that still exist in your area. There's nothing for me. I don't know of any where they would look at this and be able to fix it. But anyways, I thought I could tackle it myself. I even went on Facebook, ColecoVision forum, and I was asking, and I tried. Some people were just like, oh, just reflow the solder, do this, do that. I am not that technical inclined when it comes to doing stuff like that. I've done minor things, but I decided, hey, I'm going to take a shot at it. I opened it up, and it was a challenge. Opening these things is not fun. If anybody's ever tried to open a ColecoVision, it's not the funnest. And inside, I had to one of the plates inside that was covering up the controller parts. I had to pry it off. It was not fun. But even when I got it unplugged, taken apart, I still didn't really know what the heck I was doing. I tried reflowing solder. Nothing worked. And it still was, I was like, well, what do I do now? And I thought, well, I'll just maybe start looking again. And I did. Luckily, I went on Kijiji, I think it was, and just started putting in ColecoVision, and somebody had one that just had the ColecoVision. No controllers, no wires, no nothing, just the console itself. And I got him down to, I think, about $30 or something, because he said it was obviously untested. It was his personal one that he found. So I'm like, hey, why not? And I bought it. I took a chance. And funny enough, the thing worked better than this one. But that's not always going to happen, right? You're not always going to be able to just jump on Kijiji or whatever and find what you're looking for, or on eBay, without having to normally pay a whole lot of money. There are other options as well. Like, there are people who do provide services. Like, for instance, I have a VIC-20 that I bought from a thrift shop a very long time ago, and it worked for quite a long time. But the last time I plugged it in, all I got was a blank screen. And I was kind of upset. I was like, dang, I really wanted to start playing some VIC-20 games. And so I started looking around, and there's, places online, but then I'd have to ship it off, and who knows how long it would take and what the repairs would be. And again, people online, I was asking, and people are online. I think I did the video about the VIC-20 Mini a while back, and people were, when I mentioned that it was broken, and people were just like, "Oh, just fix it yourself. Like, just open it up, fix it." I'm like, I don't have that knowledge to know what chips are burnt out and how to pull them out and what chips to order, and I couldn't bother with that. But if that's something you could do, hey, why not? You know, some of us, when we collect these old things and these types of things, you gotta sometimes have a little bit of knowledge of fixing them. It's like owning an old car. A lot of people that own really old classic cars, a lot of them do know how to fix most of the car, if not all of it, because they know that it's going to get harder to find somebody that's going to be capable enough to fix it. And so it's the same as these things, you know, unless you have that hobby, that drive to want to actually repair these types of things and, you know, get your hands dirty. Otherwise, you're going to be back to the market and buying something. But at the same time, you're going to still be buying something that's like 40 years old, which it's going to have to survive the mail. It's going to have to survive the post office or the delivery service that you choose to have it delivered. Whether the person's going to package it properly. I've seen horror stories on Facebook of people taking pictures of things that they've had sent to them, and the person just threw it in a box with no bubble wrap or nothing and just literally mailed it off. And it's just like dinged all the crap. The plastic's broken, you know, that type of horror story. So now it has to survive that trip to even make it into your home. And then, again, it's still a 30-year-old system. Even if it was working when the seller sold it to you, how long is it going to work after? And so, again, you kind of have to think about this, like, when am I going to be able to get these things fixed? How am I going to get it fixed? I took a chance, like, with this thing. I bought, it was an eBay buy. I always wanted this controller to try it out. This is the super, what do they call it? The Super Action Controller for the ColecoVision. And I found a sale on eBay. Someone was selling 2 of them. And I thought, well, at least hopefully one of them will work. Of course, these things are always sold untested. Nobody's going to want to test them anyways. But I bought it, and yeah, one of them works fine. The other one, I think this one works fine. The other one I took apart trying to fix it. I think what was happening was pushing down or to the left or something. No go, no movement. And so, I'm just going to put this here. And so basically, yeah, I took it apart. I tried cleaning it. I tried this. I tried that. I'm like, nothing was doing it. I kept putting it back together, kept trying to make it work. And it just seemed like something must be broken internally, because cleaning it, whatever I did, didn't do anything. And so I thought, you know, what am I going to do? Well, I do have a working one, which is fine. You know, I'll just live with that. I'm not going to bother trying to source out a second one. I don't need a second one anyways. I never have a player to begin with. And, you know, the same thing happened when I got my first Atari 2600 Light Sixer. I ended up buying it, or, well, kind of trading for it. I traded a bunch of Intellivision stuff and games and stuff to a guy on Facebook. And he basically fixes these things up and sells them off as for donations and stuff like that, money for whatever. But anyways, he agreed to send me a Light Sixer. It was just one of those things, I just kind of wanted one. I had the Atari Junior at the time, and I always felt like it'd be cool to have an actual Atari Light Sixer. And that's this one here. Well, this is the other one I have. I picked this one up at a garage sale. But anyways, yeah, when I received it, it worked the first time I plugged it in, and then after that I went to play again on it, and nothing. It was black screen. And I had to email the guy and say, something's wrong. It's giving me a black screen, and he's like, oh, it's, you know, is there power? And I'm like, I don't think so. And he's like, okay, it was, you know, this transistor piece or something. And I'm like, great, what am I going to have to do now? Am I going to have to mail this back to you, have you fix it, and then mail it back to me? And that's going to be expensive. And he's like, well, how about I just mail you the part and you put it in yourself? And he's like, it shouldn't be too hard. And of course, me being who I am, going, I don't know. But I tried it anyways. He sent me the part because I really didn't feel like paying all that money in shipping. And, you know, more shipping the product, it's going to put more potential for damage again. which I didn't want to do. But anyways, yeah, so he sent me the thing. I opened her up. The Atari 2600 is a very easy system to open up. Not a lot of complication there. And I just pulled the part out, soldered the new one in, and boom, we got a working Atari. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just fun to think that you could end up in these scenarios when you have all these old things. And if you're not testing them on a regular basis, you have no idea if these things are even working anymore. Like my NES that I had since I was a child. It's been sitting in my shelf in my man cave now for a long time. I don't remember the last time I actually plugged it in to see if it even works. Same with the Sega Master System and Genesis. All these consoles, and you know, I have Commodore 64 down there. And I always think, you know, does that even work? And, you know, I'm not plugging these things in and out all the time. I'm always worried, you know, constantly doing that, you're going to put more wear and tear on it. But sitting doesn't help either. So what do we do? Anyways, I just wanted to throw the conversation out there and see how you think of the scenarios. And, you know, do you just fix things yourself, or do you throw them out and buy new ones? Do you keep the old one and buy a new one? It's you got a lot of options. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.